Hello, we are here today with Ryna Muluba.
Yes.
And I am so happy to have Ryna here.
Me
I haven't
too.
seen Ryna in a while. And I want to start by saying I always have everyone introduce themselves, but before we
Hmm.
do that, this one's a little different.
Oh.
Uh, only because,
Hmm.
only because Ryna and I met while I was on my Scholar Fulbright Distinguished Chair Award to Canada in 2023, 2024. But I met Ryna in 2024 during Black History Month
Hmm.
because I was invited to give a talk at now her alma mater, the University of Ottawa. All right. So because Ryna is one of several people I had the pleasure of meeting while I was engaging in diplomacy as a U.S. citizen on a very much um, honored and appreciated Fulbright Award, as
Hmm.
the Fulbright program is now um, in a precarious state because this year's awardees have recently received letters even after they went through the entire process. You submit in September and then you
Hmm.
find out for sure that you were awarded in the spring of the following year.
Okay.
So it's not a full
Oh
year, but it
wow.
is it is quite a long
Several
time,
months.
and there's several steps
Hmm.
involved of approval.
Hmm.
And the final step is when the Fulbright board sends you the official notification
Hmm.
that you will be approved, that you have been approved with an award to travel abroad to do
Mm.
research or teach. And mine was a research award. However, it is also expected that you're going to well represent uh, your country of origin wherever you go.
Hmm.
And so that is why if someone invited me while I was there to do a talk, I did
Hmm.
it, right? Because that's a part of what I was supposed to do. And so that's how I ended up at your alma mater, the University of Ottawa, even though I was situated at Carleton University. And
Oh,
Ryna got a
yes.
degree in
Yes.
psychology,
Yes.
and I was very happy for her presence at the talk. And I was also very happy that she wanted to hang around after the talk and talk to me. And and so we have been talking ever since. So this is also my promo for the Fulbright program,
Hmm.
as the Fulbright program is asking all of us as alum of the program to please publicize the benefits of the experience that we had, both for ourselves and the citizens whom we met when
Mm.
we went to other countries. So Ryna is one of the Canadian citizens who I would not have had a chance to meet
Mm.
if I had not done the Fulbright. And I'm pretty sure Ryna and I are going to stay in touch for life because I'm now like an auntie to
Yeah.
her.
Yes.
So Ryna, anything you want to say about the meeting and our meeting one another along that
Yes.
same line of the benefits of the program?
I think I don't know if I ever told you that story, but basically the story of how I got to being in the basically in the talk. I don't
Okay.
know if I ever told you.
I don't know if you did. Yeah.
I was checking my emails, and there's usually not much very interesting in student emails at that time, but it was specifically at a time where I told myself that I needed to go out more to
Oh.
meet people, see people, and just not
Uh-huh.
go to school and then stay in my room. I was like, I have to go. I have to go. I have to go. So I stayed in school after class, and
Mhm.
I went directly. And I think what struck me the most is that you went up to everyone who was there and you said thank you before the talk even started.
Oh,
Yeah. And I was like,
yeah.
oh, like, who is that? I don't even know. I didn't even know that it was you who was actually going to go and give the talk. So I was like, oh, just this lady saying thank you. That's so nice, whatever. And then you went up. And I was like, oh, she's saying thank you to everyone who's there anyway. So it's people like this who, you know, make university and just like life so
Mm.
interesting and so worthwhile. So I really don't think
Oh, thank you.
program should be defunded because
Yeah.
honestly, I don't have any like black female university professors. I haven't had any
Mhm.
like during my time at U Ottawa, and I
Okay.
love my time at U Ottawa, but it was something that I didn't have, and
Okay.
so that really brought like diversity and just change in my like university like journey.
Mhm.
And I just love the fact that we can just go to talks, learn a bunch, and talk to people after. It's really
Yeah.
something that's like it's really special. So don't defund. Don't defund
Thank
the
you.
program.
Thank you so much. All right. So,
Um,
wonderful. So Rena and I are connected, and I had a chance to establish a relationship with many other Canadian residents,
mhm.
and still keep up with them. So hopefully
Mhm.
you'll be the first of several of them I'll get a chance to record
Yay. Mhm.
conversations with. Yeah,
Mhm.
you reside in Montreal.
Yes.
Yes,
Outskirts of, but yes.
outskirts of, yes.
Yeah.
So I'm going to segue here to continue with that about your
Mhm.
background and where you're from. We've already said you attended University of Ottawa, but if you
Mhm.
want to say any more about where you're from, your educational background,
Mhm.
and where you are now as a college graduate, and they will
Mhm.
soon hear you're a poet
Mhm.
and a singer. So there are many facets to Rena,
Yeah.
and as aligned with my interest in Africana Psych,
Mhm.
we're going to get into what her writing is about. So
Okay.
go ahead. Hmm.
So, hi, my name is Rena. I was born in Montreal, so I've grown up French and English, very much bilingual. Um, I only went to university in another province. Like I went to from Quebec to Ontario because I wanted to have the like on campus experience and just like explore the world a bit because I just love the traveling aspect. So I've always written a lot. Yeah, there's just been, I have a lot in my life. So I'm very
You have a
grateful
lot.
for it. Yeah, I'm very grateful for everything. I don't know
And
what else.
your parents are from
Yes. So my parents are
originally?
from Congo, so
Hmm.
Democratic Republic of Congo.
Uh-huh.
They Oh, it's the Independence Day today. Wow. Yeah. It's the Independence Day of Congo today. Funnily enough. Yeah.
Yes, and we're recording this on June 30th,
June
2026.
30th. Yes.
Yes, yes, yes.
So, yeah, and my random fact, my grandpa was like in the army fighting for the independence, my maternal grandfather. So that's also very
Oh,
much like
that's awesome.
yeah, like
Yeah.
pride for the family. And
Okay.
and yeah, so they came here in the 90s
Hmm.
and just to, have better opportunities for their children and stuff, the classic. And
Okay.
they came to Canada because it's a French speaking country, and Quebec specifically, rather. It's not
Yes,
really a French speaking
absolutely.
country, but Quebec,
Yes,
because
absolutely.
Congo is a mix of, the native languages are a lot. The
Hmm.
main one is Lingala, but
Hmm.
there's also some French because like part of Congo was colonized by France and another one by Belgium. So there's French in it. So
I am loving how you're giving family history,
yeah.
and you're giving uh national history.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is all very good. Um, so I wanted to then, well, I asked Rena
Mm-hmm.
if she would read her
My
pieces
poem.
that she
Yes.
selected from her journal.
Mm.
because I had the pleasure of seeing her perform it before a live audience.
Mm-hmm.
Someone was kind enough to record it for you,
Yes, my friend.
and you want to give your friend a shout out?
Yeah, shout out Keita. Shout out. Thank you for filming. The filming was impeccable.
Yes, it was great. And Rena shared it with me by my request, right? Because she's modest. But I asked her, Rena, have you done any more recordings of
Yeah.
yourself singing or your poetry or prose? And she said,
Mm-hmm.
oh, yeah, yeah. And she sent it to me. And so I dive in and I read very deeply, and I think deeply about what I'm listening to and
Mm-hmm.
what I'm experiencing. So, Reina, I'm gonna stop talking so we can get into it.
Hi guys, long time no see. How you guys doing? So basically, for this month's theme, I decided to. So I write a lot, right? And I've always written, whether it was like in a journal intime, whether it was like on a little postcard or whatever it was. I was always writing, and I just decided for this one to just put pieces of my writings together because I noticed that there was like a very big like evolution between when I first started writing and now. So I took some pieces. That's why you see like there are little numbers on my things, and I just put them together so you guys can see like where I started and where I am now. So here it is. It starts a bit dark, but then it gets like lighter. So. Nothing feels right because I've become a stranger to passion, to creation. Nothing grows here. Can anything grow from rotten soil? Can I ever be anything close to the little girl I was before, who felt everything, everywhere, all the time? Did I kill her? Did she run away? I feel so mechanical, drained of any life. Nothing grows here. They say I carry the guilt too close, that I shouldn't latch onto it, but it's really all I have left. I've always felt guilty. Guilty of not being good enough for much of anything. I forget it at times, but it never truly lets me go, or I never truly let it go. So I fail myself, and I feel guilty about that too, obviously. Je m'appuie tant sur mon sort. Un sort que j'ai vu venir, un sort que je me suis lancé. So yeah, shame, guilt. I'm good at that. Maybe I'm scared of having to forgive. To forgive is to let go, for myself mostly. To forgive, I would need to make peace with the fact that I can indeed get hurt, but that I can also let it go, relinquish the control and abandon the deathly grip that I have on self-contempt. To realize that it's okay to feel good, to not only understand mistakes and the hurt that comes with it, and to find the courage to love anyways. It's okay to feel good. It's literally okay to feel good. I look outside to see I look outside to see fall transform life around me. Trees change colors, they lose their leaves. The air is a little colder, a bit more crisp, more cutting, less of an embrace and more of an obstacle. The cycle of life continues. I look inside to see all my flaws and my strengths. I look inside and ponder about who this girl is. I'm never the same and I'll never be the same. I've always felt older than what I am. As a 7 or 8-year-old, I wrote a journal entry that says this exact same thing. Isn't it strange that my body always had to catch up to my mind? Love has changed me in ways I probably still cannot see. It's built foundations for me to stand on and shoulders for me to cry on. Pain has changed me in ways that I'm still recovering from. It's giving me bruises and battle scars. It's brought me to tears and back again. It rehabilitates. It's been my biggest obstacle to trust myself, to trust others, to trust myself with others.
It's made me be alone, completely alone, walls up high and heart locked away. Pain has also taught me that I can love greatly, deeply, and profoundly, and that it is a risk I must take. Pain made me human. But I'm still that little girl, the one who hates Wednesdays, the one who loves to be alone, the one who feels everything for other people, the one who's terrified of making mistakes. I peel the layers back and find out that she's still there, waiting, looking. She is me and I am her. She is one of my pieces. She helped me write these pieces. And as I write on the last line page of my precious notebook, I tell myself, I want to go out with a bang, and I want it to be so full of love and light that hearts will explode and eyes will be blinded and people will be dazzled. Because I hear songs in the trees, I see harmonies in the water. I realize that I'm holding all the keys. I just had to trust myself to go a bit further. Yes, I hear songs in the trees. I feel the notes that the sun leaves on my skin. I'm overflowing with love, the love that comes from above. I once wrote that I smile when I hear birds singing at 4 a.m. in the morning by my window. It is winter now, and at the first drop in the degrees, out they go. But I can still hear them whistling, cheerfully chirping, and I know that I only have to follow their flow. Now that I'm alive, I can shine, I can fly, I can sing, I can love, I can dance, I can cry. I can do so much more. Now that I'm alive, I found a new home in the sky. Thank you.
The theme for it's an open mic night, right? So the theme for that one for that month was growth. Yes.
Okay.
And so I since I had noticed like a change, like an evolution in my writing, I decided to take several bits from several pieces that I had written over the months slash years and just put them together so we could see like the trend and where it goes. My relationships, I read about my state of mind, I read about myself mostly and just how I see the world.
I am understanding that the pieces are reflective of the evolution of Ryna.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so I was especially struck by some of the specific phrases that you read,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
because as I said, I've listened to it a few times,
Mm-hmm.
and the first time I was just taking it in, but then the
Mm-hmm.
second time I was like, oh, let me lean into what
Mm-hmm.
they say, right? Because I didn't know the names of any of the titles, and
Yeah.
I
Oh
didn't
yeah,
know that the
exactly. Yeah.
open mic was focused on growth that evening.
Yeah.
But
Oh yeah.
that
Yes.
was evident in how you set it up in
Mm-hmm.
the recording that I saw. So let's start with my body had to catch up to my mind,
Yeah.
right? Because I find this to be very significant for us to
Mm-hmm.
talk about, because I could tell you don't didn't really mean that strictly from a developmental psychology perspective, but it was something about your mind being almost kind of like, I use the word an old soul or
Mm-hmm.
an old spirit. And you also say the little girl who felt everything,
Mm-hmm.
everywhere, all the time.
Yes.
Uh, do you want to say more about either of those two?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Mm, yeah. So basically, I okay. So I had this little notebook when I was like, yeah, like 7 or 8, and I
Mhm.
wrote in it every day. Like when I was in school, I just stopped working and I just wrote in it like all the time. And
Uh-huh.
I found it. I kept it in a little like souvenir box, and I found
Mhm.
it like a few years ago, and I was like, I write like I'm a, I don't know, 30 something with a job and bills to pay. And it made me laugh. It really did make me laugh when I read it
Uh-huh.
again.
Uh-huh.
But I was also like, I was so far like in my mind when I got to writing, since it was like only for me. I didn't really let people read it that much. It was a very personal thing to me.
Mm-hmm.
Um I could just like let it all out. And it really showed me how much writing has saved my life. Um, and I kind of did mean it from a developmental psychology perspective, but also it is true that I've always felt like a bit like older, even though I never felt my age like
Yeah.
growing up.
You were writing from your soul,
Yeah.
right? That's why that's
Yeah.
why I like how later I may botch this line.
Mm,
But I believe you said something about you discovered later that the little girl
mhm.
was still in there,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Because didn't you say something to the effect of you wondered did you kill her or did she die?
Yeah.
Or okay.
Yes. So it was about so when I was young, I really did I could cry for anything. That's why I was saying that I could feel everything everywhere all the time, and I felt other people too.
Mm-hmm.
So I was a very emotional kid, and my parents kind of, they didn't make fun of me for it, but they were like, "Oh, you know, here she go, here she go crying again." And I was just like always on the verge of tears. And
Uh-huh.
with time and with like life experiences, and when I was 15, I went through grief. I lost a friend who was very close to me, and after that, well, I think, well, trigger warning, my friend died. She took her own life when I was 15. So that's where also the guilt set in. And after that, after the like initial period of, you wake up, you cry, you go to bed and you cry, I just stopped crying. For years I just stopped crying, and that's why I was wondering like, where did she go, because I've never been this way. And
Mm-hmm.
it felt strange to not be that little girl anymore. And so I was just wondering, like,
Mm-hmm.
as I grew, did I, chase
Did
her
you
away
did
because
did
I
you cha-
yeah,
did you change? Yeah.
yeah, because
So
I couldn't handle it anymore.
yeah,
Yeah.
I believe, so these conversations, you know, the folks I am speaking with,
Mhm.
uh, yourself included, of course.
Mhm.
I'm thinking when I'm chatting with you how I see it through the framework of the
Mhm.
Africana psychology.
Mhm.
And I'm glad that you got to the point where you felt like, no, she's still in there.
Mhm.
Because all it meant was that you were
Reconnecting.
rightly so an empathic person, because we're
Mhm.
supposed to feel other people.
Mhm.
And I feel that your writing was always being used as a way to, I guess, sort of liberate,
Mhm.
your emotions so that they weren't
Mhm.
like just bottled up inside.
Mhm.
And as you grew older to match your body,
Mhm.
uh,
Mhm.
you started to learn that I guess even sometimes when people transition to the other side, there's still ways that you can feel them, feel their
Mhm.
presence, especially
Mhm.
through nature.
Mhm.
Yeah, because you
Yeah,
write you have a lot of nature.
I do. I talk about the fall a lot because as I was, reconnecting with
Hmm.
the little girl inside, I
Hmm.
started to love the outdoors. Like
Yeah.
I
Hmm.
I can't stay inside for too long, as you can
Hmm.
see. And um it's really like everything about nature is so inspiring. It's
Yes.
so like telling, and just like a fleeting moment of, I don't know, like rain start, the beginning of rain or the smell of rain. uh
Oh, yes.
yeah, since we have here, we have the pleasure of experiencing like all four seasons, right? And
Hmm.
so they're full potential. So you see all the colors changing and the weather just like going up, going down all the time. And I
Uh-huh.
think that's also inspiring to me because it's never the same. It's, it's the cycle, so it is the same, but it's never the same as in like, oh, how was I last fall? And now fall of this year,
Mm-hmm.
I just feel
Yes.
different. And then you write about it, and then I just feel like it's you can always write and take from nature, and because nature gives so much, right? And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that really helps.
And you're very connected. You're very connected to nature. You feel that you are part of
Yeah.
nature. I can see it in your writing. And so I wanted to just pull some of those lines out that you
Mm-hmm.
read. Uh, you mentioned, as you just said, fall season and its representation of the cycle of life.
Mm-hmm.
I hear songs in the trees. Is
Mm-hmm.
that's a reference to the birds?
Yes, but
Uh,
also
uh,
how can I say this? Okay, so I had sort of was a very very big part of my writing actually. I had a
okay.
spiritual awakening a few months ago,
Ah.
and yes, through simple meditation, I can
Mhm.
actually hear songs. I feel like I can actually hear songs in the trees. It feels weird to
Mhm.
say, but I don't know if you ever had somebody tell you to like listen to the wind because the wind brings messages. That's what
Mhm.
I mean. And
Oh, okay.
yeah, and
I'm
I
glad I
also
asked. Okay.
yeah, and I started writing actual songs instead of just
Look at me
poems.
not going deep enough. I'm thinking she's talking about the birds and the trees, and you're like, well,
Yeah, the
that's
birds
plus.
too. The birds
Okay.
so nice to listen to. But I started writing songs. I got a guitar and everything
Mhm.
recently. And so when I write or, sing, I'm usually outside. And I try to have nature sounds in the songs because I really
Uh-huh.
like what it adds. You can't mimic nature.
No,
So
no, we cannot. We could
yeah,
try, but we can't.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
we
So
can't do it justice.
yeah, so
So
I
what
seriously.
what do you mean by I or can you share with us? Because I can have my interpretation, but as you can see,
Hmm.
you're adding more. So when you say I hear harmony in the water.
Yeah. So I've always felt um like a water element. Like I've very much like a water personality, so tears all the time, very much flowy. Uh I'm kind of everywhere in the sense that I can be with different people, different types of crowds, and I still kind of mingle in there, even though they're completely different from each other. So I've always felt very like, just going with the flow and just the flow of water.
Hmm.
Um,
So you
and
know
I
what
tend
we
to
call
associate.
that in Africana psychology? That's kind
No.
of the collective conscious. Because you feel a part
Ah,
of all the
yeah,
different
yeah,
people, which might have been why you were crying so much when you were
yeah.
writing. But now you understand, oh, I just feel I'm able to connect with everybody because I
Yes.
feel we're like an extension of each other. This is really beautiful. I like
Thank
it.
you. Thank you.
Yeah.
And so harmonies in the water has always been for me like the sound of water. Like, some people just put rain sounds to go to sleep, and then you can
Mhm.
just like drift off to sleep with that, or
Mm.
just being in front of water. Any body of water to me is magical. So also
Mhm.
inspiring. I can't like find another word for
I
it.
get it. I get it. It's very
Yeah,
nice. I get it. I'm so happy that you have that, that you're in tune with that.
thank you. I'm happy to. It makes more sense
And
this way.
it makes more sense that way.
Yeah.
Yes. Um, so I guess the final thing is
Mhm.
this ending, the last ending,
Mhm.
the last line that you read. Now that
Ah,
I'm alive, I
yeah,
found a new home in the sky.
yeah.
This is very deep, Rena. So you
Yeah.
you got to break this one down.
I'm
Break it
trying to
down.
bring it home. Um. Okay. So yeah. So with the spiritual awakening, I think.
Mhm.
Well, not I think. I know that before I was very numb,
Mhm.
because I couldn't really manage the emotions, so I kind of shut down.
Mhm.
Um. But it made me feel like I was kind of, stuck, and, rotten soil, the rotten soil metaphor. I work a lot
Mhm.
in metaphors when I write. So I felt like I
Mhm.
couldn't grow anything. And by grow, I meant create. I felt like I couldn't be a part of create. Even it's very contradictory because, just by being, you're a part of creation. But I
Mhm.
felt like I wasn't creating anything new, that I was just taking up space and not giving anything back. And so,
Ah.
yeah, and so when I started to feel more alive, when I started to have more hope and to see light even in the dark days, um I realized that by creation, I mean everything. I mean the trees, I mean the earth, and I mean the sky. So I found a new home in the sky. Meant that, like, um when I write, that's kind of where I go. And when I'm gone, that's also where I'll go. So I found a new home in the sky. Uh, Means that I'll never be like the feeling of being dead inside, and the feeling of not being able to grow anything
Mhm.
um is gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So you're like feeding your spirit through the
Mhm.
writing and
Mhm.
reharmonizing with
Mhm.
nature, and I guess there's like a, I don't know. I'm this is me guessing, right? Because
Mhm.
I'm not a poet. The
Mhm.
the lightheartedness of
Mhm.
your mind, your soul. So
Yeah.
you're kind of taking flight.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
I'm not only
eliminating.
stuck here, I'm
Yeah,
everywhere now. And we are all
yeah.
everywhere.
This is so Africana psychology,
Yeah,
right?
I didn't
It
know.
is. Yeah, yeah. This is why
Oh.
I want to have these conversations, because I realize there are people who are doing things out here in this world that
Mm-hmm.
very much represent what the writings say, but you
Mm-hmm.
might not be familiar with the terms, or
Mm-hmm. No, I wasn't.
and you can go all the way through
Mm.
4 years of typical
Mm.
university life and get a degree in psychology, but
Not no.
we're all learning
Mm-hmm.
Eurocentric psychology, so we don't really
Mm-hmm.
we don't really grapple with these
Yeah.
kinds of ideas in these programs where we get our degrees. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so yeah, that makes total sense to me,
Mm-hmm.
that you have an illumination of your essence, that kind of, there's a lightheartedness that
Mm-hmm.
you evolved to,
Mm.
um and now you're kind of taking flight, and I like how you said you're everywhere all at once.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, this is great. All right, so we're gonna wind down with
Mm-hmm.
a question that I'm very interested in hearing your answer to.
Mm-hmm.
What advice do you have for kids who were similar to you
Mm.
when you were a kid, or advice for their parents? Because
Oh.
you know
Mhm.
what type of child you were. And I'm not talking about when you were maybe perhaps more the Rena who might have been, I don't know, maybe a little more depressed. I don't know if I should
Mhm.
use that word.
Yeah, yeah, I was
Yeah,
basically, yeah.
yeah, because that's such a loaded word. But I mean, I can't think right now of a better term.
Mm-hmm.
Versus the Rena who illuminated and took flight and
Mm-hmm.
began
Mm.
to
Advice.
understand
Wow.
using
Uh,
writing. Hmm.
okay, well, I always tell people to write down what's going on. Even
Hmm.
though it doesn't need to be a poem, it doesn't even need to be good. You just need to get it from here and here to the physical. So, yes,
Okay.
because as I write, I find out things about my feelings and about myself that I didn't really know were there. And
Okay.
sometimes just the process of writing words is liberating. So you need to free yourself from all of that. It needs to go. It's got to go. Either you talk,
Mhm.
but most people don't like talking that much because it's like you're opening up to another person and it feels a lot more personal. You don't know how the other person is going to react or judge you and stuff, which is totally
Mhm.
understandable. That's why I wrote all the time. Um, and when you write, you don't really need anybody to listen, really. You do it for yourself. You get it
Mhm.
out, and then you can have clearer thoughts because if it's always clouded, you can't think, you know?
Mhm.
So I would tell people to get a piece of paper and a pen and just write things down. And if it's parents, then ask your child, do you want to write it down? Do you want to draw it? Do you want to, just make art from the pain, make something.
Okay.
I would say that's
Are from the pain or for the or from the confusion, I would imagine.
exactly
Like about, yeah, I see.
create as much as
Okay.
possible.
Yeah.
Um, any other advice?
So for the
Is
kids who are not writing age yet, you're suggesting maybe they should
ah
draw. They should draw. You
yeah.
said draw or
Yeah,
yeah.
or
Okay.
even if you don't like writing, just create something from what you're feeling. Because my brother, for example, he doesn't write that much, but he's a insane artist. Like he just
Got you.
draws all the time. So when
Got you.
we talk and he's going through something, I tell him to draw it out. You
Yeah.
know,
Mhm.
or my sister who's a singer, I tell her sing it out.
Mhm.
So just really
Yeah.
take what's good for you and try to create something from it. And I would also say that it's not like I don't know how encouraging that is, but sometimes I'm like the only way out is through. So, just go through the moment, and then after it will be um you'll be changed from what you went through, whether it's good, whether it's bad, you will be changed and you'll
Mhm.
have created something from it. It's really all about creation, I think. But
Yeah.
I don't know about like other advice that I could give. Go outside, don't stay
Oh,
yeah,
be
whichever
in
one.
tune with nature.
Yes, go
Yes.
outside. Honestly, go for
Yes.
a walk and
I
just
got you.
sit there because sometimes being inside you just can't, like, the air
Mhm.
and the energies, they don't flow when you're inside somewhere, but outside it's always moving. So that's also something that I would
Yeah.
say. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, very good advice. I'm so happy we got a chance to do this. And I
Mm,
thank you so much for coming. It's
thank you for
wonderful
inviting
to
me. I feel
see
so
you.
honored.
I feel honored. It's wonderful to see you again. And we do keep up for anybody watching, we keep up, but we haven't FaceTimed.
Mhm.
Rena, I want you to enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank
And
you. You too.
I know you're gonna get outside somewhere. So thank you.
Thank
And
you.
I will be in touch soon.
Awesome. Thank
All
you.
right. Thank you.